Hello everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you about the Game of Thrones video game by Telltale Games, and I really got addicted to this series. Really loved it. I played all the episodes 1 through 6 basically, and I really just felt there's got to be more games like this in this day and age where I felt this need to come back and really find out what happens next after every given episode. Now, part of the reason why I love this game is because I do love Game of Thrones, the TV series Game of Thrones, and if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, you might not find the game necessarily that engaging because you're not really familiar with the characters. But the Telltale's games basically that it extends upon some of the characters in this series that make some cameo appearances, but they have some of the characters that you find in the book. That they talk about in the book series, but not so much in the TV series. So it really just feels like an extension of watching Game of Thrones. Especially when you have to wait a whole given year for every Game of Thrones new season to come out. It's kind of a good filler for that. But one of the things I loved about the Telltale's Game of Thrones video game is that I could give this to even non-gamers and get them to play it, and they really enjoyed it. So there wasn't like a huge learning curve. It wasn't really something for hardcore gamers. Anyone on any sort of level, if they like Game of Thrones, could get engaged with the video game. It's also available on multiple platforms. I played it on my PC, but you can play it also on Android, also on your phone and whatnot. So there's different mediums to play about it. But the best thing I liked about the Game of Thrones video game is that it just got to the basics of what makes a good game, is that it had a great story, right? It just had a great story. I really want to feel what happens next, and it has that same sort of shock value that Game of Thrones has, where you just can't believe something just happened there, right? So yeah, it just has those great fundamentals of a good story, and not getting too too crazy or fancy. I mean, the graphics were decent. They were definitely good for some platforms like like Android or iPhone, but for a PC platform wasn't amazing. You pretty much really can't really lose the game. It's pretty relatively linear. You have different choices that you can do, and you have some different outcomes based on different dialogue trees, but pretty much anyone, you really can't lose the game. I mean, you have certain sequences where you die and it just resets back to that area, but it's very much like if you've heard of this book series called the Choose Your Own Adventures. This is before video games were what they are right now, but those were basically books where you'd make certain choices and you'd turn to a certain page and whatnot. So it very much feels like a choose your own adventure. But yeah, it really just goes to show you what what gaming can be when you have a good storyline, right? And that storyline, it is piggybacking off of the Game of Thrones hype, right? But that's really sometimes all it takes. Sometimes it's just a good story to get you engaged. And lately, I've been in a bit of a lull with video games where I've been enjoying them, but I haven't really had something that really just keeps on dragging me back and making me feel like, oh, I want to find out what happens next. And this was the closest thing to that. So, I'm actually thinking about checking out some of the other Game of Thrones, the other Telltale games, but like The Walking Dead. But I'm not so much into this series, but I might do a review on it. I think that might be a good challenge for me, just to see if I'm not into the series, how much of that format, that sort of choose your own adventure format, do you get engaged and pulled into. So anyways, Game of Thrones game. If you like Game of Thrones, I think you'll love this game, right? It just definitely feels like an extension of the respective series, and if you want something different in your gaming experience, yeah, try it. And again, I found it. I actually don't like the fact that it was easy, because I'm not very good at video games. I kind of like the experience of video games, so I found it relaxing. Where some video games, they can get a little stressful, and some people like that challenge. Personally, I have enough challenges in my daily life that I'm I like things a little bit not overwhelmingly challenging. So maybe people who like a big challenge might not like that aspect so much, but if you like, the Game of Thrones video game, if you like, the TV series, I think you'd enjoy it. So check it out.
Hello, Gandu.